Hi everyone, today, we're going to take a look at the 5 best boning knife for deer on the market for this year. First, we're going to show you our 5 best picks, then we'll talk about what you should look for before buying a best boning knife for deer. You can find timestamps and links to all the products we mention in this video down in the description below. Let's get started. Many people confuse the job of a boning knife with the job of fillet knives or cleavers. All cooking knives more or less do a similar job, but each one excels at the specific task that it is made for. Boning knives, in general, are made for removing the bones from the meat, while fillet knives are generally made for removing skin and other lighter-duty tasks. Knives that can do both of those things do exist, but keep in mind that they will not do the job as good as those specialized for it. Finding the best boning knife for deer can be a challenging task. Another thing that boning knives are good at is saving you money. Boning knives are usually cheap equipment, but a must-have if you have a passion for hunting wild animals. So, buying a boning knife instead of another kind of knife for a wild catch can oftentimes help keep a couple of bucks in your pocket. Number 1. Dull-Strong 8-inch boning knife for deer. Given the price tag of this dull-strong knife, many people consider this boning knife to be one of the best on the market. Having a high-quality stainless steel blade that has 66 layers that also has high amounts of carbon compressed into it, this knife offers amazing strength and durability. The full-tang design of this knife ensures maximum stability and makes this knife amazing at precision cutting and boning. While this knife may come razor sharp out of the box, with some usage it tends to dull, and you will have to sharpen it every now and again, but it shouldn't be much of a problem for people who have little knife sharpening knowledge and skills. The handle on this knife is a good quality G10 material that is extremely resistant to heat, cold, and moisture while also giving the user a feel of good grip and comfort. This knife also comes with a sheath together to store the knife and protect it when it is not in use. To find out more about boning knives, here is our guide on how to sharpen a boning knife. Pros: comfortable for long-term use, well-balanced knife, razor-sharp blade, resistant to cold, heat and moisture. Cons: might be hard to use by beginners. Number 2. Global 6.25-inch boning knife for deer. This knife goes on the more expensive side of the spectrum. If you are not familiar with Global, all of their knives are fully made out of steel. This kind of design means that the handle isn't separated from the blade. This knife will definitely not make a good choice for beginners, so that's something to take into consideration. The blade on this knife is about half an inch longer than a normal boning knife blade, which can make it harder for a beginner to use and manipulate. Even though the handle on this blade is retextured so it can prevent slippage and increase comfort, it is still not preferable for newer people. But if you are already an experienced individual in using boning knives, well, this knife is the choice for you. Extreme sharpness and durability are a guarantee with this knife. Pros: incredible performance, professional-grade knife, anti-slip handle, durable and resistant, good value for money. Cons: not beginner-friendly, really expensive. Number 3. Mercer Culinary M20106 boning knife for deer. Mercer has been a company that has made good quality knives for the past 30 years. They make products that are considered one of the best for the money that you give out for them and also have very good customer support. The Mercer Culinary boning knife is a full-tang design knife that is made for maximum comfort and grip in even the worst of scenarios. The German high-carbon stainless steel ensures the best possible sharpness and durability. As we all know, stainless steel, which contains high amounts of carbon, is very strong and sharp but will tend to rust over time. The handle of this knife is made to give you the best grip in situations where moisture plays a big part. Thanks to the rubbery material called Santoprene, this knife will give you a sure feeling of comfort and grip in worst-case scenarios. We recommend this knife for people that want to work with deer meat but not be limited to that. This knife can do all sorts of wild animal boning just right. If you are interested to read more of our articles, you can check Is a boning knife the same as a fillet knife? Pros: good grip and ergonomics, various purposes knife, easily used in wet conditions. Cons: requires serious maintenance. Number 4. Dullstrong 6.5-inch boning knife for deer. We have mentioned Dullstrong knives before and how they make good quality knives for surprisingly low prices, and this one is no different than that. This Dullstrong Phantom boning knife is a beast of a knife with a full-tang design to ensure stability and strength to the knife. The Japanese steel they used on making the Dullstrong Phantom is superior. The stainless steel is nitrogen purged, which adds to the metal's strength and toughness. The curved blade of this knife will let you get into the tightest of spaces between the bones and the meat. Although this knife is suited towards boning, it can also be used in filleting mainly because of the shape and thickness of the blade. This knife is an ideal tool that you can use for deboning deer, elk, and other big wild animals. Its design and metal in this knife will deb one carcass after carcass without it getting dull. Pros: a reliable manufacturer, various purposes, really sharp blade, high-quality Japanese steel. Cons: a bit expensive. Number 5. Victorinox Fibrox Pro Boning Knife for Deer. While this knife is the cheapest on our list, it is, of course, the worst one of all. This one is a knife that you can basically get at any store for basically no money. That will reflect on its performance, as you might guess, though. This knife is not a full-tang design where the blade is glued to the handle. That can become a problem with further use of this knife. The metal that is used in this knife is a high-carbon stainless steel. You should know that this material is very flexible. You can actually get into some tight spots with this knife. But, again, it is very prone to corrosion or actually even breaking. The edge retention is another thing you should know about this knife. It's not good at all, and you will have to sharpen this knife after each use. That can be a painful process for people who don't have much knife sharpening experience. This knife doesn't come with any sheath or protection on the blade. The lack of protection can cause it to get damaged during shipping, so just something to be aware of. With that being said, we cannot say this knife is not actually worth the price tag. If you want a very cheap boning knife to last you a few uses, take a look at this one. There really is no need to throw away large amounts of money, and the Fibrox Pro will do just fine. Pros: well-built knife, budget-friendly, easily sharpened knife, ergonomic handle. Cons: might get damaged if not maintained properly. Concluding our best knife for boning deer guide. In this list, we have taken some of the best boning knives that are currently available on the market. We explained what they excel at, and are they worth your money. You should be very careful when picking the perfect boning knife for your needs. Not every boning knife is made for boning deer, elk, or any wild catch. The role of a boning knife cannot be used in different cutting activities. You will risk damaging or completely breaking it. Keep that in mind when spending money on one. However, if you are someone who often gets to skin and debone animals, then spending a little extra will go a long way. A good quality boning knife can and will make a very big difference in whatever you're preparing.